Do you have one of these? It's our new reality. But your faith needs to be unmasked. Get your coffee. This is not a paid advertisement, but it is a good day. Genuine faith. What is it? Do you have it, and does it matter? When Paul opens his second letter to Timothy, which happens to be his last work that he ever wrote, he commends Timothy for his genuine faith. He says, when I call to remembrance the genuine faith that is in you. And reading those words should cause us to wonder, what exactly is genuine faith? Now, the word that's translated genuine, or in some English translations, it's unfeigned or without hypocrisy, is a Greek word which is upokritos and upokritos, which the A at the beginning of it negates it. So you're not a hypocrite. And in ancient Greece, this word upokritos, it was a word that is applied to the actors in the Greek tragedies and comedies, and they would change their masks based on the different character that they were playing. So faith that is not hypocritical or unfeigned is unmasked faith. And so when I think about genuine faith and what exactly is genuine faith, the first thing that comes to my mind is what the Apostle James writes about in James chapter 2, where he says, "For just as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead." So the first thing I would suggest to you is that a faith that does not evidence itself in its actions, in its beliefs, or in its works is not genuine. It is not real. It is dead. Another thing that James says, he talks about pure religion in James chapter 1. He says, pure and undefiled religion is this, to visit orphans and widows in their trouble and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. He also talks about being able to bridle your tongue and to govern the things that you say. So when we start to talk about what unfeigned, unmasked faith is, genuine faith, I think it's very important to recognize that it is a faith that is represented in our actions. It's seen in the things that we do. Well, then, do you have it? I mean, that's the next logical question. There's a lot of people that say that they believe in God or they trust in God. They may even go to church and might even read the Bible, but do you have sincere faith? Do you have genuine faith? And I think it would be somewhat easy to be able to test that, to check that, to look into the mirror that is God's word and to see if that you are reflecting the characteristics of a Christian, which quite literally could mean someone who's Christ-like. Does your life represent or show or display the actions of a Christian? Does it look like the teachings of Christ? Does it look like Jesus and his first followers, other than Judas? So what is sincere faith? It's a faith that is seen in our works. Do we have it? You can test it pretty easily. Third thing to really ask is, does it matter? Well, yes, in a big way it does, because saving faith is genuine faith, or rather I should say genuine faith is a faith that saves. Not all faith is the same. We need to have a genuine faith towards God, and it needs to be seen in the way that we live. It needs to be evidenced by our works. The faith that is saving faith is not merely a mental acknowledgement of some axioms. It is a belief that affects our actions. It affects the way that we live on a daily basis, the way that we interact with people. And the Bible makes very clear that Jesus will test the genuineness of our faith. He tests the genuineness of our faith when he returns. Matthew chapter 25 speaks of a judgment that will take place before Christ at his second coming. And the judgment is according to our works. That's a heavy thing to think about, and a lot of people really wrestle with it. And I would say you should wrestle with it. You should absolutely wrestle with those challenging statements in the scriptures having to do with whether or not our faith is genuine. Jesus asks the question in the Gospel of Luke, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and do not do the things that I say? So our actions are really important, not just our mental assent or acknowledgement, and not just the things that we say with our words. One other thing that I think about on the question of does it matter whether we have genuine faith? Well, when Paul commends Timothy in 2 Timothy chapter 1 for his genuine faith, he says there, I commend you for your genuine faith, which was first in your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded that it is in you also. Sincere faith, like coronavirus, is more contagious when it's unmasked. And so if you are hoping that your faith will affect other people in your life and that they might catch on to it, then it needs to be sincere. It needs to be genuine. It needs to be unmasked. Something to think about as you're having your coffee today. We'll see you next time.